What's up, you guys? This is your favorite YouTuber, the Gaming Legend, back with I'm doing a movie review today. So I just finished watching Thor Love and Thunder. So I like the story. It's Thor's last hurrah. So so let's talk about story. So this is Thor's last hurrah after Avengers Endgame. He was all fat, big, and heavy after the death of Loki, and then Ragnarok, and then losing his father, his mom. So this is kind of like the cap of his story. So at end of Avengers Endgame, all the Asgardians go to a place on Earth called New Asgard. So it's called New Asgard. So it's called New Asgard. So so it kind of picks up right after Avengers Endgame. After Tony's funeral, Thor goes with the Guardians to go on missions, and the movie opens up with Korg, the rock monster guy, telling kids a story about this is Thor, the space Viking. And, of course, we all know that Christian Bale is the villain, and the villain of this movie is Gore, the God Butcher. So, Thor gets a distress signal from one of his old allies of Asgard, because she was tracking the Butcher guy. So, she was injured and half dead, so he told the Guardians, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna go save my friend. So from there, that's when the story gets interesting. He rescues his friend, who, if you're wondering, is Lady Sif. Takes her back to Asgard, and there's a battle because Gord, the God Butcher, is there, and he's looking for Thor, the God of Thunder. And from the backstory, what I could tell is that Gord, the God Butcher, he somehow was trying to save his daughter, and then he got sick. And he said all the gods gonna die. So of course, like when he says that, he means like for instance, Zeus is in it. So like he wants to kill off like all the big gods, like Thor. Odin's already dead, but he's one of them. So like Gord the God Butcher's trying to take out all the gods. For some odd reason, I don't know why, but and when he arrives in Asgard, there's a battle. He fights Gore, and Gore ends up taking children hostage. And from there, Thor sees his old hammer, Mjolnir, there. And the last time we saw Mjolnir was in was in Ragnarok after he got crushed to cubes. Crushed to pieces by his sister Hela. So he finds out that his own replacement is is his ex-girlfriend Jane Foster. So from there, his best friend Korg, the rock monster, says, "Let me tell you the story about Jane Foster and Thor." So he talked about how they broke up, how they fought. Eventually, she left Thor a note and left. They had a great relationship, but then they started to drift apart, and then they started fighting, and then so on and so forth. But they showed the scene in there, which is that Thor told his hammer Mjolnir to protect Jane with his or her life. So, and that's when we find out that Jane has cancer, and then she's trying to find a solution, and the hammer was calling to her. So she goes to New Asgard, finds the hammer, and ends up as Thor. And she's trying to think of her catchphrase. They rekindle their relationship, and then she ends up dying. So that's kind of like the base storyline and the plot of the movie. So here's my thoughts. So far in Phase 4 of MCU, in movies wise, we had Black Widow, we had this movie, Thor Love and Thunder. What else? We had Doctor Strange. And let's see, Doctor Strange. Oh, yeah. Then we had TV shows. We had Falcon Winter Soldier. We had WandaVision, Loki. Oh, yeah, we had Eternals. So I would say this movie's in like the top 3 or 4 in my Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4. So the first top 2 movies has to be Black Widow and trying to think, and Doctor Strange. I didn't care for Eternals that much. It was a little bit boring. And what else? Yeah, Eternals a little bit boring. I love Doctor Strange because of oh yeah. So let me just restate that. So my top 3 favorites is Spider-Man Far From Home, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and the last one is Thor Love and Thunder. I love this movie. It was a great storyline. And let's talk about the cast a bit. So I told you before, the villain is Gore the God Butcher. Then you got Thor Odinson, and then you have a little shot at the Guardians from. I mean, like the movie picks up right after Tony's death, like a couple months later. So like it picks up right there. And I already talked about the storyline and what I would like. What was my favorite parts of the movie? I liked the battle between Zeus, Thor, and Thor's allies the most. I liked a lot of the scenes with him and Jane because since Thor won, Jane and Thor has been one of my favorite couples in Marvel Cinematic history, kind of so far. And what else? Okay, let's talk about funny scenes. So I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, so there was one funny scene that still stood out to me that when Thor's fighting Zeus. Zeus throws his lightning bolt at Korg, Thor's best friend. Thor thinks he dies. He shoots Zeus in the chest with his lightning bolt, thinking that Korg is dead. And then what's funny, Korg says, "Hey Thor, I can't die. I'm made of rocks." And eventually he grows his body back, which I think was funny. And what else? So let's talk about the final fight. The final fight was good, like very good. Thor gets there. He tells Jane stay put because the more she uses the hammer, the more her cancer can get worse. So she used the hammer one last time. Against Thor's own will. Jane gets to the battlefield after Thor has transferred all of his powers temporarily to all the kids. The kids have to fight. Heimdall's son sends them all home. So, we're near the end. So, would I watch this movie again? See my language, but hell yes in a heartbeat. It was one of my favorite movies, like I said, next to Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Thor is number 3. I love this movie. It was one of my favorites of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Phase 4. I loved the movie. I had Disney Plus. And don't you worry, I have watched all the TV shows, so I will be doing a review of the full TV show. If you guys aren't ready, please hit the like button, subscribe, and the notification, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, bye-bye.